CHAGWA
président
Lungu,
de la République de Zambie.
President of the Republic of Zambia.
Mr. President, Excellencies, Heads of State, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, allow me to join other dignitaries in congratulating you for convening this landmark United Nations Summit on the adoption of the post-2015 development agenda. I wish, on behalf of the people of Zambia, to applaud the Secretary General of the United Nations for his unwavering commitment to nurturing consensus of member states on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. I'd also like to express gratitude to the co-facilitators for their distinguished leadership during the process. We further applaud member states and observers for the tireless efforts and constructive engagement that culminated in bringing this momentous task to fruition. Mr. President, this summit will go in the annals of history as the world is witnessing the end of the Millennium Development Goals whilst ushering in the Sustainable Development Goals and the post-2015 development agenda. Zambia wishes to reaffirm its commitment to embracing a common development agenda which will help enhance development partnerships among member states. Zambia acknowledges and appreciates the input from important developmental processes that have contributed to the success of this new development agenda, and notable among them being the Third International Conference on Financing for Development and the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. The multi-dimensional nature of this process signifies our determination to have a global development agenda that is responsive to the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the world to provide for the needs of the future generations. To this effect, Zambia looks forward to starting a new development era in 2016 within the spirit of leaving no one behind, with renewed vigor and focus. On this point, I thank the Assembly for yesterday's adoption of the groundbreaking resolution A/70/L1. Let me thank His Holiness Pope Francis for his candid and inspiring remarks on the need for nations to take seriously the question of climate change and protection of the environment for sustainable development. I am happy to report that in the 7th National Development Plan of our country, we are developing climate change ranks among our top priorities. Mr. President, I'm glad to report that at country level, a number of consultations were undertaken with various stakeholders with a view to put into context the fundamental provisions agreed upon by member states. Coincidentally for us, the SDGs and the post-2015 development agenda have come at a time when the country is developing its 7th National Development Plan. This gives us greater latitude to effectively domesticate the various provisions of these global initiatives. We are glad to note that the SDGs have brought out a number of development issues such as maternal health, poverty, gender equality, water and sanitation, land degradation, climate change, among others, that our country is determined to confront in the post-2015 era. I wish to reiterate Zambia's commitment to ensuring the use of evidence-based priority setting and targeted mechanisms with a view to achieve inclusive socio-economic development. Mr. President, Zambia, being a least developed and landlocked developing country, will require support in completing the unfinished business of the MDGs, especially in the area of education, health, water and sanitation, gender equality, agriculture, science and technology. With regard to technology, Zambia underscores the need to forge South-to-South technology transfer cooperation as an essential component to accelerate the implementation of the SDGs and the post-2015 development agenda. Mr. President, I wish to reiterate what I said at the high-level meeting on the follow-up to the second United Nations Conference on landlocked developing countries held in Zambia in June this year, that there will be need for the United Nations Office for South-to-South cooperation to fulfill its pledge and commitment to establish centers in these countries for purposes of technology transfer. Being a pilot country, Zambia is ready to fully participate in this initiative, and we are also committed to institute strategies that will promote environmentally sustainable socio-economic development aimed at proactively addressing employment creation opportunities, particularly for the youth and women, in order to reduce poverty. Mr. President, my government recognizes the importance of mobilizing resources both domestically and internationally for development. For this reason, the official development assistance and the foreign direct investment continues to play an important role in fostering sustainable development. I therefore call upon the developed countries to fulfill their pledges. As the developed countries honor their pledges, it is critical that developing countries put in place comprehensive institutional frameworks that will identify, promote, and facilitate partnerships aimed at creating a platform for a shared vision that resonates well with the private sector to bring about a win-win situation between investors and the communities. Let me take this opportunity to stress that sustainable development presupposes the existence of peace. In this regard, Zambia has been actively engaged in peacekeeping missions, particularly in the Central African Republic and in Sudan. We are seeking the support of developed countries to help capacity building of our troops so that they are better equipped to carry out such noble assignments. In the same vein, Zambia sees counterterrorism initiatives as critically important in preserving peace and stability. In collaboration with regional and international partners, Zambia remains committed to ensuring that we curb this scourge. Mr. President, in conclusion, Zambia pledges to give primacy to SDG implementation as a means to stimulate its development trajectory that takes into account all three pillars of sustainable development. I also call upon the UN to initiate follow-up actions and review processes as to promote cross-pollination of ideas and exchange of best practices. This will help attain higher global outcomes on SDGs and the post-2015 development agenda. I am confident, Mr. President, that on behalf of the people of Zambia, this summit will provide us with an opportunity to emerge stronger and more focused to attaining the post-2015 development agenda. I thank you.